Well, hello and welcome to Toe to Toe Extra. I'm Andy Scott. Joining Gary, Logan and myself this week is the realist, Viddal Riley. Victorious on a sweltering Friday night at York Hall. Must be delighted. It was a vicious and pretty brutal ending to a very good fight.
No, it was titled Unfinished Business, and I definitely finished it in the fashion that I would have intended, like throughout the whole of camp, preparing, traveling to learn more, coming back, continuing the camp, and that performance really is like, yeah, we worked for that. We worked for that. That wasn't a fluke. That's something that's going to be repeated for sure.
Yeah, it was a very good fight in which you were pretty dominant through the first three. And then we had a relatively dramatic fourth round. We're going to show it to you now. It's just a nice environment for you to commentate almost over your own performance.
Right.
Gary Logan's here with us. And it's just a casual conversation about this fourth round. So you've been dominant up until this point. So what's going through your mind in terms of coming into this round? Have you got it in your head that this is the round I want to get him out there? Or is it just keep chopping down, we'll see what happens?
Keep chopping down, because Anees is tough and he can take hits. So I thought I'm just going to not let him outwork me, but not let him make me overwork either, because it's 8 rounds. So I've had a feeling he would come out with more heat because he's losing. He lost the first 3 rounds, so I expected him to come out with more intention. I could hear his corner encouraging him, to bring more heat. So yeah, that is what I was expecting. And then I was in the fire zone. Boom!
Okay, so
Got caught with the right hand right there. He slipped under my jab. I threw my jab out. He slipped under, came over, and it was a good shot. And as I said, I'm honest, that shot hurt more than the 3 he hit me with in February. The ones he hit me in February when everyone was saying I was rocked, I definitely wasn't rocked. It was just more of a surprise. That shot there, I felt it. I said, okay, we're gonna have to go into the game plans that we know when you feel pain or how you're going to react and weather the storm to get back to the game plan. So that's what you see me doing here, moving around the ring. There's no rush. It's round 4. It's 8 rounds. I'm going to get you. I was banging you up for free, so I know I'm going to bang you up again when I get the opportunity. Hit me with another right hand here. That one didn't hurt. Caught the end of it, but it did knock my head. But there, which I think a lot of people dismiss, I landed a body shot. His back is to the camera. But none of those shots were low. The initial body shot that I landed is why he went to go into the clinch. And then I look round the side and throw more because I clocked him as he went for the overhand again. So then it led to the lead up of body punches, and he just used that to nick a rest.
What's Mark Bates say to you there? Do you remember?
Keep the punches up. But I was thinking, I will. But I understand he's really going through body pain right now. This is not pain in the kids. This is pain to his stomach, but he's using it to breathe. I was aware of this. That this whole time, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I know there's one time I hit him low, I even touched his glove and said sorry during the fight. The rest were belt line or clean flesh. So at this point now, I'm just thinking, I'll get you again. I'm gonna stick to I ain't gonna move wild, I ain't gonna do nothing crazy, but I'm gonna let you know that I'm here. This ain't the change of momentum now. This ain't where you get your second wind and the fight turns into a war. I will get you. And because the body shots hurt, I double it.
So that's a good body shot there.
I double it, I go around the side again. I thought and the momentum was there, you know. The momentum was there, and we've been focused on putting the shots together. Cruiserweights don't punch in combinations.
Were you frustrated at all that this was Mark's taking his time there just to cut across you, Gary?
Yeah.
So it's not a wipe his gloves and carry on. That's about a 20-second gap there.
I knew it didn't matter. I knew that the pain that I was putting on him, 16 seconds, 18 seconds, 20 seconds, is not going to help. And I knew that when the action resumed, I was going to go again in that gear. I wasn't going to slow it down and build back to that. It was a matter of, I can feel you fading, but he's tough and he's got a lot of pride, so he doesn't necessarily show it, but I could feel it was time to detonate, and that's why I let the shots go.
Your dad's pumped up there as well.
Yeah, he was pumped up because I've had 6 knockouts in my professional career, but most of the knockouts come as one shot. I switched the guy off one punch, but to build a finish like that, I think it's the first time anyone's seen me build a finish and put a flurry of punches together to get the guy down, not just whoop, bang and he's gone. And I think that's what created the hype, and that's what makes it more vicious, because it was an accumulation of aggressive punches with power. And that's something that I have in my arsenal, so you will see more of it.
There's something very poignant that you said there. A lot of cruiserweights don't punch in combination, which is very right. You're very right about that. And they don't have his lateral movement. And there's a couple of bits when you're moving, I could just see a little bit of Evander Holyfield there. Just a little remnant.
That's one of my guys. That is one of my guys.
A remnant of Evander Holyfield with that double jab and a step to the side, always making the opponent have to reset.
And Evander never lost that bounce,
never,
did he? Which is, I always think that you have a bounce in the amateurs, and then people try and maybe coach that out
of you. But,
and I don't think it should be. You've got a little bit of a bounce. You still like
I really don't think it should be. I really don't think it should be.
You think it's something else?
It just adds to rhythm. It just aids your rhythm. It really does.
Do people think that if you're bouncing, then you're not digging your toes in, ready to plant your feet and whack?
Exactly.
Is that?
So there's a difference between doing that, having that movement, and being able to have strong enough calves, strong enough quads, strong enough core to be able to bounce into a punch. There's a difference between bouncing around and being able to bounce into a punch. And that's what it has to be trained in. Viddal's shown us that he can do that.
You liked his body work, didn't you?
I love body work. You know me. I love body work.
But particularly, that was a story of that fight.
Yeah, it was a story of that
fight. Very good
to
the head, but you liked his body work.
Yeah, I think from the first round, you'd made Anees reluctant to get off as much as he had done in the first fight. That was clearly, there was
that was the plan.
Yeah, there was a different to take over. He took over very early in the first round. And then it just kept coming on, and they were obviously getting tiring, but they had an effect. And they weakened him. There's clear to see that he weakened him, and that's why he looked at the referee and to say, "Well, what's going on here?" And
I can't believe he looked at the ref.
Yeah,
actually, I'm in the fight, in the arena, landing the shots I'm landing. I'm thinking, now is the time that you want to look away from me? Like, do you not understand? I'm right here.
Yeah.
So the moment he looked over there, I was like, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what he was not looking for. Clearly, should have been.
Would you go as far as saying that was your most complete performance as a pro? I don't want to say best. That's like a throwaway question, but the most complete performance in terms of pace. The ring IQ that you showed, the chin check that showed that you can take a shot and carry on, and then the finish, most complete performance?
Yeah, the most complete. I think it's my most mature performance to date. As I said, I've won fights over the distance, not lost a round. I've knocked guys out with one punch, but that fight showed I have things in my arsenal. You know what I mean? I'm not a one-dimensional fighter. You see me flick around and box a guy. You see me walk a guy down. You see me attack to the body. You've seen variety of punches. I got the best variety of punches in the cruiserweight division. 100%.
What I really like, and I almost feel stupid bringing it up, but because we've had this sort of journey since you returned to the UK and linked up with Boxer, I feel like our journey with you started at that point.
Yeah.
And that first fight back against Wilberforce Shehepo, if there was one criticism, it was that you had a man hurt and you didn't get rid of him. When perhaps if you just put your foot on the floor a little bit, you could have. And your dad was very good post-fight talking about that. It now feels like a complete shift in mentality. We talked about you being a box puncher before.
Yeah.
It's now, it seems that you've had a change of approach in terms of your mental approach to it, which is don't give people a chance that don't have a chance. Get these fights done if there's a chance. Is that fair?
Yeah, that is the mentality. At the end of the day, I'm a cruiserweight. I'm not far off heavyweight. People want to see finishes. People want to see a big man detonate on somebody. And no one's gone the distance since Wilberforce.
Yeah. 4 in a row now.
It's 4 in a row now. So we're doing something right. It's not just about putting the foot on the gas. It's how you put the foot on the gas, what punches you select, where you are in the ring.
Yeah, and when, presumably.
When. That's the elements I'm learning now, which is why I'm getting people out of there.
That is so poignant, where you are in the ring. You know, that speaks to ring intelligence. You know, a lot of fighters, they just throw punches or they move off. They don't know why they're moving. They think, right, I'm just gonna keep moving around. You can just keep no. It's about foot position in relation to not getting hit and then being able to spring in and then hit your opponent. So knowing where you are in the ring is such an underused thought process by a lot of fighters, especially fighters with only 9 fights. You know, that's something that you learn as you go along. But because his dad's a good coach and he's had good schooling, he's got that. He's had that implemented into him very much early on in his career.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you,
shout out your socials so people know where to find you.
Is it real on everything? ISITRIL, and YouTube channel is Viddal.
Brilliant. Thank you for coming in. We look forward to the next chapter, The Realist. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you join us next Tuesday for more Toe to Toe Extra.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.